Hey everybody, and you guessed it, it's time for Mid-Rock Crisis, where we're trying to save some rock music. And today we're going to go in a totally different direction. We're going to take a look at Carole King, an artist who for some reason I associate with the gender movement that we're experiencing today. Just going back to the beginning of that with this artist. Carole King, born Carol Joan Klein in 1942. Singing career was predated by her songwriting for over a decade. She began as a staff writer at the Brill Building in New York City, a business of creating short, popular music, finding suitable singers and coordinating studio sessions. Neil Sedaka and Neil Diamond also began as Brill employees. And Carole became the most successful female songwriter of the last 60 years. She co-wrote 118 pop hits between 55 and 99, and she also had 61 hits in the UK. Carole and Jerry Goffin were a songwriting team. They were married. They would brainstorm day and night to come up with ideas. Carole was also a pianist, which was a great help to their efforts. Here are a few examples of their well-known songs. Excuse me. Chains, it's later recorded by the Beatles. The Locomotion for Little Eva, who was also their babysitter. 3, It Might As Well Rain Until September. This is the first hit. Carole sang it herself. Take Good Care of My Baby for Bobby V. And Up on the Roof for the Drifters. I'm Into Something Good for Herman's Hermits. One Fine Day for the Chiffons. Pleasant Valley Sunday for the Monkees. It's by the Carole and Jerry had moved out of the city, landing in West Orange, New Jersey, where Pleasant Valley Way is a main thoroughfare. 9, You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman for Aretha Franklin. And 10, Going Back for Dusty Springfield. And this list shows the effect the Brill Building had on the music industry in the 50s and 60s, but it also shows the beginning of the singer-songwriter idea of the mid-60s and on into the decades to come. Carole King became a singer-songwriter when she decided to sing her songs, her best ones. Carole King, as she would be known, was born in Manhattan. Her mom was a teacher, her father a firefighter. They met at Brooklyn College. From an early age, their daughter was exposed to music. She was a prodigy, and it was discovered that at the age of 4, she had a sense of absolute pitch. She could name major and minor notes just by hearing the note played. Her father delighted in showing her off to his friends, and she delighted in seeing him so proud. She began piano lessons and was taught music theory. Her goal was to learn to play the songs she heard on the radio. She skipped first grade. Her vocabulary and arithmetic skills were above the curve. Parents take notice. Early music lessons stimulate the mind in abilities other than music. In the 50s, found King at James Madison High School. She was in a band called the Cosigns. This is when Carole Klein became Carole King. Sometimes Jewish people would change their names to avoid anti-Semitism. Paul Simon was a classmate. He convinced her that she was ready to record demos. Her first song, The Right Girl, was released by ABC Paramount in 1958. She continued her songwriting and her studies at Queens College, where she met and married Jerry Goffin. When their daughter Louise was born, they left school to pursue employment and they continued writing songs in the evening. They hit gold with the Shirelles' #1 hit, Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? King and Goffin decided to songwrite full time. Then during most of the 60s, King wrote the music and Goffin wrote the lyrics. Their marriage didn't make it. Till the 70s, Carol and her kids said see ya to Jersey and moved to Laurel Canyon in Los Angeles, a neighborhood rife with music talent. She reactivated her singing career as a trio with Charles Larkey, whom she would marry, and Danny Kochmar. They were named The City after one failed album, The Lights Went Out in the City. Her solo career began with the album Writer, but it was all she wrote, not really. Album #2, Tapestry, was #1 in the US and remained on the charts for 6 years. Since Tapestry, King has 25 solo albums and 75 million sold. In the Hall of Fame beckoned, King became the first woman to be awarded the Library of Congress Gershwin Prize for Popular Song. And in Laurel Canyon, King met James Taylor, who would be her duet partner off and on. To this day, she also met Joni. They became friends and confidants on the LA music business. Here's her album Tapestry. 1. Will You Love Me Tomorrow? 2. You Make Me Feel was given a facelift. 3. You Got a Friend, and Joni appeared, and James Taylor also put in on his album Mud Slide Slim. And Mud Slide was a #1 for Taylor. 4. It's Too Late, and this was a #1 for King. And 5. I Feel the Earth Move. And 6. So Far Away. 7. Beautiful. 8. Way Over Yonder. 9. Smackwater Jack. And 10. Tapestry. Would you say that top to bottom there's not a really tosser song in this bunch? I would. So Carol had been holding on to her best songs during the time she was working for the Brill Building. It's rare for an album to have so many immortal hits. Her next album, Carole King Music, was released in 1971. It was good, but not Tapestry, which took 4 Grammys. Here's the songs. It's Going to Take Some Time. 2. Sweet Sessions. 3. Some Kind of Wonderful, and many more. Now, this album was certified gold when it was released. By New Year's Day, it also went to #1. She's since worked with Mariah Carey, Celine Dion, Gloria Estefan, Shania Twain, and Aretha Franklin. Her 2010 King and Taylor reunion tour was a commercial success. King's autobiography, A Natural Woman, a memoir, was a New York Times bestseller. King retired to a quiet life in Idaho. So, what girlfriend in the 1970s didn't have a copy of Tapestry handy? Along with Joni's Blue and Elton John's Mad Men Across the Water, these were a rite of passage into the sisterhood. And King was one of the first singer-songwriters of pop songs in the United States. The 60s had plenty of singer-songwriter folkies, thanks to Bob Dylan. But Carole King was the first female to do so. Thanks for being with me. Remember, hit like, and I'll see you next time on Midrock Crisis. It's the hand, oh my God.